Hey guys, it's Marvin and I'm currently in Bali, Indonesia, and I just got my visa extended and the process can be quite confusing. So coming up, I'm going to help you save time and money when you go extend your visa. Welcome to Travel and Found. My mission is to inspire and motivate you to travel solo. So if you like videos like these ones, please consider subscribing. All right, let's get on to the information. Just so you know, the visa I'm talking about is the endorsement you get on your passport to allow you entry into a country, not the visa that you could use as a credit card. Indonesia currently offers 169 countries visa on arrival. What that means exactly is if you're a citizen of one of those countries, then you don't need to apply for anything before you enter. As soon as you land on the airport, you go through customs and you get what is called a visa on arrival. You're free to enter Indonesia and stay for at least 30 days. Make sure you don't overstay those 30 calendar days. If you do, you'll be subject to a 300,000 rupiah fine for every day you overstay. And you risk being blocked or prevented from returning to Indonesia in the future. If you want to stay longer in Indonesia, there's a couple different options, and I'll go over them now. So option number one is that you can actually apply for an extension outside of Indonesia at an Indonesian embassy, mainly probably in your home country. Some people go to Singapore if they're already outside of Indonesia. You can apply for what is called a social visa. Some people call it a cultural or tourist visa. That'll give you 60 days in the country, 60 calendar days, before you actually have to go and extend it again. You have to extend it every 30 days, and you can stay in the country for a total of 6 months. However, it is a single entry visa, so you have to stay in Indonesia the entire 60 days. If you do leave and then come back, it basically resets to the normal customary visa situation. Option number two is called the visa run, and it's a very popular option in entire Southeast Asia outside of just Indonesia. A lot of people do it in Thailand too. Basically what that means is that you leave the country and go to a different country and come back. And there isn't really actually a time limit, so if you're in Bali, you could fly to Kuala Lumpur or Singapore that day and then fly back, and basically you're done. Prices for return flights or round-trip flights would be around $100. It really depends on how early you book, and so it's a great option. It gives you an excuse to kind of search and learn about a new culture, a new country, and then come back and voila, you have another 30 days to stay in Bali. So option number three, you don't want to hassle leaving the country. You just want to extend your visa. You know you're going to be here more than 30 days. You want to take in the sun, the surf, the yoga, and the bars. So I did talk earlier that you are granted 30 days free entry into Indonesia. But here's the caveat. If you want the opportunity to extend, then you actually have to purchase a visa on arrival when you arrive. And it costs about 35 US. It's something you have to do before you go through official immigration. I know that can be a little confusing, so when you get off the plane, you traditionally go to an immigration booth where you get your passport stamped. So you have to buy the visa on arrival before that happens, before you get your passport stamped. There's a booth, it's like a cubicle, it's right before immigration. You do have to look for it. It's kind of nondescript. It does say visa on arrival at the top, and you go there, you pay your money, they give you 2 receipts, you hand that to your immigration officer, and then he stamps your passport. So make sure to get that, because if you don't, you're out of luck. So now, you've gotten your receipt for visa on arrival, you're ready to extend. Now, it usually just takes 10 business days, but I do highly recommend that you start the process right after you arrive in Bali. And the reason why I really recommend that is, for one thing, there's holidays you might not be aware of. We were actually here during Ramadan, and immigration was closed quite a few days. It's very common that the computers crash at immigration. So what that means is you'll just be waiting at immigration during your visit until they come back on. And you might be subject to having to come back an extra day if they can't get the computers back on during your visit. Now let's talk about your trips to immigration. If you plan to extend your visa on your own, you're gonna have 3 separate trips to immigration. There are a few different immigration offices. The most popular one is going to be Denpasar. It's typically close to the majority of people that are staying in Bali. But some people go to different immigration offices because arguably, since they are less popular, you could say that they're not as busy and it would just take longer to get there, but maybe the processing time would be a lot quicker. I'll post the different locations of the immigration offices below so you can make a choice on which one you want to go. So pro tip number 1, Bali is a fairly conservative place because of the religions here. So if you do go to immigration, make sure to dress appropriately. I would recommend business casual, or what we consider business casual in the US. People have been known to get rejected for coming in bikini or not wearing a shirt. And remember, you're in a different country, so please respect their culture. So these are the items you'll need when you go to extend your visa. Now keep in mind that they'll have the applications at immigration, so you can fill that out while you're there. You'll need a passport with at least 6 months left on it, in addition to extra visa pages that are blank. You also need a photocopy of your passport and 2 passport photos of yourself. You'll need a printed copy of your flight booked out of Indonesia before that visa extension expires. So let's talk about visits. You're gonna have 3 different visits to immigration, and your first 2 visits should happen the first part of the day. They're open for the visa processing from about 8 to 2 Monday through Thursday, and 9 to 1 I believe on Friday. Check the times because they can change, or they could be closed because of a holiday. So your first visit, you're gonna submit all the items I said earlier, in addition to the application you'll fill out while you're there. Once you're done with that, they're going to give you a day to come back to do your fingerprints, photo, and pay your $30 US for the visa extension. Now, once you're done with the second day, they're actually gonna give you another day, and that day you just actually come back to pick up your visa. So the third visit is going to definitely be the easier of the 3 visits because you're actually just coming to pick up your visa with the stamp in it. So pro tip number 2, remember when you're submitting the application and forms for your visa extension, you're gonna be without your passport, and this could be about up to 2 weeks. So my suggestion is make sure to take a clean photocopy of it, and you can use that because some places will need your passport to rent a motorbike, check in a hotel, and do other activities. So just make sure to have a copy of it, and so you're not stuck anywhere. Now we talked about the different options on how to extend your visa and the process of actually extending your visa. Let's talk about how to save even more time and potentially money. And that would be pro tip number 3, I think. So anyways, basically what a lot of people do here is they hire what is called a visa agent. And I hired a visa agent. And it saves you time and money because they go to immigration for you. So they'll submit all your documentation. They'll call you and let you know when to come in to take your photos and fingerprints. It took us like an hour. We were in and out within an hour. And then they actually deliver your passports back to you. So it's a fantastic service to utilize. I'm gonna put 3 agents that I recommend, or because either I've used them or I've known other people to use them and they recommend them as well. Feel free to do research on your own. Obviously, you're trusting somebody with your passport, and that's really important, so keep that in mind. I'm just gonna talk about my experience with the whole visa extension process. And I thought it went really smoothly. I did have a lot of questions. I followed up quite a bit. And then I was getting a little bit nervous because our passports hadn't been delivered yet. Visa on arrival was set to expire. They said it's fine as long as it's with immigration. And they were correct, because when we got our passports back, it had already been approved. It was just the fact that there was a lot of holidays. I've heard from people they're getting them after their expiration and they get them back, and it just shows that, you know, they're clear. Well, that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed making it, and it took me a while. There was a lot of information in there. So if you did like it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you think there's anybody you know that's considering Bali and may extend, please forward this video to them. See if it'll help them. And in the comments, if there's another video or information you guys want to know about, something I missed in this video, please let me know. I really hope to make videos of value, and your input really helps. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm Travel and Found on Instagram and on Facebook. And see you in the comments. Take care.